Welcome to Mastering Your Financial Life, hosted by Judy Heft, the founder and CEO of Judith Heft and Associates Financial and Lifestyle Concierge. This year, they're celebrating 26 years in business. In every episode, Judy interviews professionals who help others successfully manage their financial lives. You can find this show on YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. Judy is the author of 2 books, How to Be Smart, Successful, and Organized with Your Money for a Better Today and Tomorrow, and her latest book, Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles, How to Successfully Manage Money in Every Decade of Life. You can read chapters of her books and catch prior episodes of this show at www.judithheft.com. Now here's the host of Mastering Your Financial Life, Judy Heft.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the 47th episode of Mastering Your Financial Life. I'm Judy Heft, Financial and Lifestyle Concierge, working with lots of different types of people with bookkeeping and bill pay, small businesses, individuals, whatever the case may be. And we're celebrating 27 years in business. And today, I'm so happy to be here with my good friend and guest, Robin Fowler. Robin is the VP of Digital Sales at Ferocious Media, and she's been working with them for 13 years. And I think I've known Robin at least 15 years, maybe more. I'm not sure. We have to really think about that, or maybe we don't want to. So I'm really happy to have Robin here. And Robin's an experience in website design, SEO, SEM, social media content and advertising, photo and video, and all different kinds of things, whatever has to do with social media and the internet and all of that stuff that's Greek to a lot of us. So I'm really happy to have you here, Robin. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. So, we're going to talk a little bit. So one of the things that confuses me a lot, and still, even though it's been explained to me a few times, I wonder if you could talk about it, is the difference between search engine marketing and search engine optimization, SEO and SEM. If you could enlighten us, that'd be great, Robin.
I am so glad you asked about that, Judy. This is the number one thing I hear people misuse, whether I'm talking to potential clients, existing clients, or even if I'm talking to consultants that work closely with clients. And I think people's understanding of how easy it is to navigate these two traffic driving opportunities is a little overstated. So let's talk about search engine marketing. The advantage of search engine marketing is you're utilizing advertising to drive consumers interested in your services to your website, right? So you have control. What's the location where I'm going to show up in? What types of services or products do I want to promote my business for? And making sure that you're getting found when people are searching for a business like yours and those services or products, right? So you're primarily doing this in Google, Bing. Yelp is actually a consumer tool for a lot of consumer-facing businesses and some B2B businesses. And social media ads factor into co-promotion in this space. Social media for a professional service business is more of a brand driving tool, not necessarily a lead generation tool, depending upon what the type of the business it is. Certainly for people selling products like in lifestyle brands, like fashion and all kinds of things, it is truly a lead generation tool. So all of those things blend together. The idea here is making sure you've got the right budget for the type of business that you're in, because the cost to compete is widely variable. And there's a lot of settings and things that go on behind the scenes that really leverage you spending your money as prudently as possible and getting as much out of it as possible. So you're basically showing ads as much as your budget allows in a very competitive, incredibly fluid environment. The thing is remember, you're controlling getting out in front of the customers and driving traffic for people interested in your business through these ads. That's why it has so much value to so many businesses. Search engine optimization.
I just want to ask you a question on that for a second.
Sure.
So is that part of where there's the pay-per-click and stuff like that? Is that part of search engine marketing?
So when you're on the search engine results page, and here's another interesting fact about it, the search engine results page is dramatically changing. So Google, this factors into both of these things, search engine marketing and search engine optimization. So Google recently rolled out in fourth quarter last year a thing called continuous scroll. So they announced it for mobile in October last year, and they added it to desktop in December, and it's still slowly rolling out across the country. So here in our area, in the New York metropolitan area, you'll see it all the time, whether you're looking for like a divorce attorney, or you're looking for a plumber, or you're looking for a cardiologist, you'll see a page that is incredibly longer. This is the other reason why investing in the ads can be important for many businesses. Search engine optimization is getting your business found through all of the things in between the ads on the search engine results page, but also driving traffic through tools like publishing content. So if you're blogging and you're sharing it on social media, it can have a real impact. Your Google business page can have a real impact. So search engine optimization is the art of someone understanding your competitive situation for your business and leveraging all of your internet assets to drive qualified free traffic, getting people that are interested in your services who aren't necessarily clicking ads to come to your website, or they may be in an environment, like hanging out in Facebook, and they happen to be presented with your blog, and they click that and they go and they read the blog and they travel to the website, and it gives you a marketing opportunity to market to them in other ways and follow them around the internet, if that makes sense. They both require a high level of technical specialty. Search engine optimization is a thing that I often equate when I explain to clients. It's like hiring a great financial investment advisor. Because I think the other misunderstanding about either of these tools or tactics is that you change it and it happens right away.
Right.
So with paid ads, when you change things, you have to let them run for a few weeks to observe those changes, look at the data, and see if you're even ready to make any changes. There is the most amount of AI underneath Google we've ever had. It certainly has been in the AI business since its launch over 20 years ago. On the optimization side, when we make changes to a website, let's say we're making code or content changes and we submit those to Google, Google just doesn't show them that day. It actually takes quite a few days to get that index, could be weeks, and you're not going to really understand the results of those search engine optimization changes till maybe as long as 90 days down the road. So we equate this in a very simple analogy. Search engine marketing is a sprint to get yourself some traffic, right? Search engine optimization is a marathon for many businesses, leveraging the two. The other thing that's changing is just how much information is on this search engine page. So not only does this thing scroll where you could see 50 or more results and you could keep going, but now they are testing a thing called Search Labs in the moment right now that you can sign up for as a consumer with your Gmail account, and you can see all kinds of additional information they could be throwing into this page. So there's lots of business needs to have on the internet and get cross-promoted on the internet to get found by the consumer who really has a big appetite for research.
I think it's really interesting hearing you talk about all these different avenues where I think, so many small businesses think, I'm just going to hire like some young kid to do my marketing for me. They understand social media, blah, 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 and getting it out there. But I think, listening to you talk, it is a little bit complicated, especially for people that don't know anything about it, and I think it's really important to hire professionals that understand about the keywords and the SEM and the SEO and all of those different things and how you can coordinate them and whether it's worth buying ads or not. Sometimes I'll tell you something interesting that happened to me. It was quite a few years ago, maybe close to 15 years ago. Somebody took some words out of my website and twisted it, that we were helping the elderly, and they made it sound like that we were ripping off elderly people, and it was really awful. And it was on the internet.
That's horrendous.
Maybe you know what this is, Rip Off Report. It was there. And so that's when I started blogging, because I spoke to an attorney, and to try to get anything down was like going to cost thousands and thousands of dollars. I didn't have that kind of money at the time. And so I just started blogging and putting all kinds of content up there to finally get it off the pages. It took a couple of years before it was completely off, because back then it was remember when Google just had one page, like one row. Now they have like 3, 2, whatever. And so when there was one, it was a little easier to get it down. And then right in the middle of all that, they came up where they had that double thing, and I was back up there. But, I didn't want to put anything up there. I was advised not to comment on it because I didn't want to have it keep showing up. So I think I rebutted it once, and then I never went back on there again. But it was devastating to me.
It's hard. Blogging is the most amazing tool for any business. So it satisfies Google's need for you to show that you're an authority in your field, right? So that's important. B, you're constantly providing fresh content. That's also good for the search engines. Even if your business can do it like 2 times a quarter is great. And then pushing that content out there, however you're going to do that, through posts on your Google business page, through your social media, is really important. I have an attorney, a small divorce attorney in Clinton, New Jersey, who gets probably 100+ visitors to his website through a blog shared on social media once a month.
That's fantastic.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
That's great. Yeah, the right content is so important. And yeah, that's what I was told at that point, to start pumping it out there, getting it out there. And that's what I did. And, it's been fun blogging anyway. I really enjoy that. But, that's what it is. So, also, so what are some of the things like, Google business page, getting listed on Google business page? You mentioned Yelp before. Like, what are some of these things? Is it good to have, or helpful to ask your clients, for instance, to give you a testimonial on Google? Does that help a lot? Or
okay, so yes. So the Google business page, in terms of its setup, is more complex and robust than I think business owners realize. There is so much that you can add to your Google business page. So you want to make sure it's very clear about your services or products. You might be in a service business, like if you were a heating and air conditioning business, you've got services and products. You want to make sure those things are clarified, like you're a Trane dealer, you're a Carrier dealer, but you want to make sure all the other things that you do for your clients are on that Google business page. So you want to be posting about your services and products. And these aren't social media posts. These are informational. Think of it about like similar snippets, like the content that you have, on your website. And a local business should be doing that as many as 3 to 4 times a month. And then the other side of this is the reviews that you just asked about. That is so important, Judy. And that is like an evergreen, must always be curating, like a fine garden. You've got to be feeding it. And so you've got to be asking these clients to write these reviews. You want them to be clients and be genuine, because you can see through like the best friend writing the review versus the client writing the review. And once in a while you get a bad review. The biggest thing about this is generating reviews on a monthly basis, making sure that you're answering every review. Now listen to this. The consumer expects you to answer these reviews in 24, no more than 48 hours. So there's technology, Google notifies you. You want to make sure someone in your business is on that and answering those reviews. And if it's a bad review, just acknowledge that, first of all, consumers know people make mistakes, and 40% of people will do business with someone who has a bad review if they've responded. So you got to make sure that you're like curating this. And I think people understand not everyone is going to be 5-star solid. That's almost suspect. You're sort of looking for like a 4.5, 4.6, feeling a little better, like, okay, they're a little vulnerable. And it's always interesting to read the 1-star reviews, because sometimes there are people who just get angry, employee leaves, and they have their buddy just put a 1-star up there and it says nothing. You can try to refute those things and prove the person isn't a customer. It's hard on all these platforms to do it. Google is your most important place to keep this vibrant, because that Google business page also is the first thing Google is going to show about the business. Maybe even sometimes it's more prominent on a desktop, but very key information. You see it at the top of mobile all the time, and you might see it before your website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really helpful information too, because I think a lot of people don't understand that. But let's take a little break now, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more with Robin Fowler of Ferocious Media. Hey there. I just want to tell you a little bit about my new book that just came out called Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles. And here it is. It's how to successfully manage your money in every decade of life. I co-authored this with my CFO, Liz Levy. And together we created this manual that's going to help you through every stage of life. We talk about having a baby. We talk about young adulthood, pre-retirement, what to do when you're at that age of retirement. If you're contemplating divorce, do you need an estate plan? We cover all of these, each subject in a different chapter. And I really think that you're going to find this so helpful because at the end of every chapter, we have checklists that you can look at and you can use, and they can be a guide for you. So this is a wonderful manual that we've created. It's available on Amazon. You can also find it on our website at judithheft.com/book. And we're here for you. If you need anything, reach out. I hope you enjoy the book. Here's another picture of it, just so you know what's going on. Here it is. And I'm really proud of it. It's my second book. And I'd love to have you read it and give me your feedback. Judy Heft, judithheft.com, financial and lifestyle concierge, celebrating 26 years in business. And over the years, I've learned so much. And what I've been trying to do is impart a little bit of this knowledge to you so I can help all of you become as financially organized as I am. And we're back here with Robin Fowler. So Robin, we talked a little bit about social search engine optimization and search engine marketing and that kind of stuff. So I know that that's not all that you do. Your company also does website design for different clients. So how is that? How should you organize your website? How is that important as a presence? Some people want to use it if you have products to buy things, and some people like me, for instance, I think of mine more as a brochure and information. So, what do you recommend here?
So the website is absolutely the hub of everything you do. While people might discover you reading, we use the blog example, right? So now we're pushing a blog out in social. I'm in social media. I leave it to go read this blog. They could see a social media ad or post and absolutely click the link that goes back to the website. So it's kind of the hub of everything that you do drives back to this website. And it does need to be your brochure, but it's got to be organized in a very specific way. So the first thing is a homepage gives a nice overview on your business and probably links into the most important parts of the business. And those are the driving profit centers, right? So if I'm a professional service business, let me use this example. I was organizing a website yesterday. It's well over 50 pages for a medical practice up in Massachusetts. So the first thing that we think about is what are the profit centers that drive the business? How do we describe those? In medical, it can sometimes be things that they're treating along with technical names of diseases that they're treating, right? So that's important. Simple example would be orthopedic. So you want to list the specialties, like the big ones that drive surgeries, hand, knee, shoulder, et cetera. And then sort of filter down to neurosurgery, maybe something that's a very unique specialty, or they may even have a cardiologist on the staff, right? The other thing is what else drives the profit centers in the business. So if you're professional services, you're a law firm or, medical firm, the doctors, or lawyers are really important. So they should be all promoted is the next section of the website. And they all need to have their own page because they are big profit centers and driving revenue for those firms. Then let's think about somebody who's just got services. I'm a home service business. A promotions page is important. Always having a call to action on the website is key. Is it just a free consultation? Is it 20% off services this month? Do you have a service special? Are you open 24/7? There's lots of different things to do, from prompting people to call and book now, but that's important. And then we've got, if you're a visual business, right? You're an interior design, you're an architecture firm. Yesterday, I was talking about website design with a large luxury home builder. So a really robust gallery organizing photos around things people look for, which could be exterior home inspiration, interior home inspiration specific to rooms. Lots of things can be organized there. And there's great technology to take a lot of topics and pull them together in one page that somebody can easily pick what they're looking for, whether it's all master bedrooms or all kitchens, et cetera. Then the about page, it's the rich history about the business. There you may have additional supporting team or founder member pages telling a little more of the story. Then a blog it's certainly a reviews page, having those testimonials, they can be used throughout the design, but you can integrate so that your Google business page populates on a page as well. Contact us. Don't forget some of the legalese here. Gotta have a privacy policy. There's technology now that allows you to have a vibrant living privacy page that's pretty cool. So you don't always have to be paying someone to rewrite that, because there's a lot changing with privacy. So you need to have the privacy and cookie policies covered. You also want to have ADA covered. So people that use assisted devices to search the internet need to be able to easily access the content on your website. And now there's like technology overlays for that. Important to consider one that has a statement on it. That's a big deterrent for these lawsuits. The average small business in America, Judy, could get sued for as much as $25,000 to $35,000 is the average lawsuit now across America. Certainly in our area, it's pushing the limits, but it's important to have that technology on your website. So there's a lot to consider. When you think about the content, it's got to be authentic. People want to see, if you're a generator company, your techs out in the field with the equipment, not just pictures of the equipment at the big palatial home, right? They want to see people getting in there and mixing it up. Sure, there's a lot of stock photos to illustrate that, but it's much different when it's your own photos. And based on all that's happening with how Google's pulling information about your business, that's why you want your own original photos on your website as much as possible. There are instances where businesses just don't do a good job of curating that, and then we use stock photos for that. And then on the content piece, has to be your own content written for your business, and it should be snackable and SEO friendly. I think what's hard for people to understand is you're actually designing a website for use on a phone versus on a desktop. So you've got to have sort of a layout that is very friendly with it's being broken up by content, photos. The content itself is, I always call it snackable for mobile. It's written. And the other thing our attorneys struggle with is this is not a case brief. This is written in, language that appeals to the 7th to 12th graders. So you got to remember, it's got to be conversational. And the last tip is, conversion paths, making it easy for consumer who is easily distracted to connect with you. A phone number like for a service business that's pinned to mobile, so you can just click to call that as you're scrolling through the page. Forms on every page, maybe even more than one place. Thinking about using live chat, close to 50% of consumers are expecting you to have it on your website now. So all these things matter.
So what is live chat? Is that a real what are those bots? How does that work? I mean, I've done it a million times on different websites, but I never really thought about if it was a person. I don't think it's a person, right?
So a lot of local businesses, it is a person. So we use technology produced by a company called Live Chat is what we recommend. It's super easy for a business to buy. You're talking about something inexpensive, like $25, $30 a month to get it set up. You can turn it on and off. So that's what's neat about it. You can put out of office messages on it in the evening. So I think that it's a really valuable tool. The thing that I think people don't realize is there's times where they're at the beginning of their shopping journey, and you can, with a live person, nurture the conversation. In the e-commerce space is where you see the greatest amount of automations. And yeah, you can automate it, but it's harder to nurture a conversation that way. They have that nurturing built in. And certainly the AI technology on this is going to get better over time. But I think for a locally owned business, having someone on your team, utilize that tool is really important. The other thing I'll say is, if you're planning a website project or you're going to use something like live chat, use those organized admins in your business. They are sitting at a computer all day. They can organize your photos for your projects. They can absolutely answer chat. Like, they're great value in the business that I think a lot of business owners want to do it themselves and they want to be involved. And it's so not practical to do that. So definitely lean on your team.
And then one last question I wanted to ask you. So how often should you be updating your website?
Technology is moving so rapidly. We recommend every 2 years.
Oh.
So it's
even
not
with content. I'm thinking, I didn't mean like changing the website. I meant like we were just like updating it with different information, content of some kind.
So
not that
yeah.
often.
So updating, once the website's live, you want to be blogging quarterly, bare minimum, once a quarter, twice a quarter is good for a lot of locally owned businesses. Sometimes it can be a really key part of driving the business. So, you may want to do once a month. You don't necessarily need to be doing several times a month. That's for like big international brands, right? It's not, that's a lot of content. So yes, from a content perspective, you want to be doing that. You definitely want to have, if you're in a business where leveraging a tool like search engine optimization can be helpful, then you got to have somebody reviewing that, and there are tweaks they'll make to the content on the service pages or the doc pages, as an example, in the medical practice, that are appropriate for the business as things are changing. These services and the opportunity on the internet is so fluid and it's changing so rapidly. So when I'm talking about every 2 years, I'm talking about a full, all the pages except the blog review. The other thing that's interesting about the blogs is, so we have clients that we've been writing blogs for, let's say we started with them in 2014. We're actually not, and new website projects, always carrying those blogs over. They're not doing anything to help the business by sitting there, because the style of blog writing in 2014-15 is very different than today.
Interesting point. That's great. Well, this was great talking to you this morning, Robin. Really enjoyed it. And I always enjoy talking to you, but I learned a lot today too. So thank you so much. So how can our listeners find you?
Awesome. So you can find me. I am on LinkedIn as well as Facebook and Instagram. And Ferocious Media has a very vibrant social media profile. So ferociousmedia.com is probably the best place to start.
Great. That's so good. Well, thank you so much for being our guest. Really appreciate it, Robin.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Mastering Your Financial Life, hosted by Judy Heft. Thank you for your positive reviews, comments, and sharing this show with others. You can read chapters of Judy's books and catch prior episodes of Mastering Your Financial Life at www.judithheft.com.